Welcome to this short presentation about studying A-Level Art, Craft and Design at Haslingden Sixth Form. My name is Mrs Tembo and I am the subject leader for Art and Design. We're going to look at today why study A-Level Art, and we're going to start by looking at the benefits of studying the subject itself. Then we're going to have a look at some of the possible career paths and possible courses you could study at university. And then we're going to look at the course content itself. What will you actually be studying? And to finish off, we're going to look at some of the experiences of our students. So what are the benefits of studying an art A-level? Well, there are many. First of all, you get the chance to express yourself and hopefully explore a passion. You also are developing visual literacy, that is learning to decode the visual world we live in. And then we have transferable skills. Now throughout the course, we're developing critical, creative and analytical thinking skills that include problem solving and risk taking. We also have health and well-being. Art can provide therapeutic support to everyone who takes part and creates their own work. We can even explore our own thoughts and feelings through our work. As class sizes are much smaller at A-level compared to GCSE, we find that we're able to build your confidence and self-esteem much easier in the smaller groups. You will be able to carry out experiments and explorations in a positive and nurturing environment. We have links with many other subjects in art, and one of those links are with the STEAM subjects. These are science, technology, engineering and maths. So whether it's technical drawing we're doing, or making paper structures, or even working out the golden ratio in Italian's Renaissance painting, we have many links with other subjects. We set our students challenging goals at Haslingden Sixth Form, and art is no exception. We want to push you and support you as much as we can in order for you to reach your full creative potential. Throughout the course, we explore and celebrate similarities and differences between people, places and cultures. But overall, one of the main benefits is the careers and jobs. The course helps you to access pathways to careers in the creative, cultural, digital media and heritage industries. So talking about careers then, I'm sure you would have noticed down the art corridor the careers tree that we have there. And on it I have several different branches looking at lots of different areas of industry that art will springboard you into. So here's just a few. We have art direction in films. Every film needs some sort of concept art. We've got furniture and bespoke items there. We've got photography for magazines, making graphic novels, working in print-based media and web-based media, and also even working as like a freelance artist in freelance illustration. You could work for organisations and businesses, advertising campaigns, music industry with your artwork, and your portfolio would usually be online. So now we know all the benefits from taking an arts course at A-level, let's look at the actual course content. And here at Haslingden we use the AQA specification for A-level, and you can find that online on the AQA website. And here I've included with that a breakdown of the actual course itself, and you can see there are two components. So component 1 is like the coursework element. It's worth 60% of the A-level, and you actually get to design that yourself. You're setting yourself your own brief there, and we will guide you through that. And then component 2 is an externally set assignment, so that is a project that you pick from the exam board, from an exam paper, and you are designing a project around that starting point, and then you have 15 hours of supervised practical time to produce a final outcome for that project. So it's very much similar to the structure that we know in GCSE, but it's obviously a deeper and more sophisticated level. And then also we have the familiar assessment objectives 1 to 4 there, and we know them quite well through GCSE, but they are developed here at A level. They're up to a much more detailed assessment objective, but they're still the same ideas. So in assessment objective 1, it's about developing ideas. Assessment objective 2 is about exploring them. Assessment objective 3 is about recording the ideas. And then assessment objective 4 is about presenting them. And that might be through that final outcome. So now we know the course content from the specification, let's have a look at the structure of the 2 years then. So in year 12, we start off with what we call foundation projects. And these will happen from September of year 12 all the way up to February half term. And we complete a number of projects within that time which will build on the technical skills you acquired in your art course at GCSE. We cover areas you might expect as well, such as realistic and technical drawing, larger expressive drawings like the one in the middle there, and they can be in a range of different media, chalks, inks, acrylic paints, etc. And we also introduce you to oil painting, and we look at the various techniques within that discipline. I'm sure you've seen some of the oil paintings by our sixth form on the walls of the art studios, often drying on windowsills, etc. So you get an idea of the type of work that we might do. Also within those foundation projects, we set you some more creative challenges that are designed to get you thinking about art from a whole other angle. So you could be trying to create a work of art as an existing object, or we could get you looking at more contemporary issues from current affairs and international news. You could also place art in the environment and see what it looks like in your local space. We might get you to produce some concept art, or look at the human condition and new meanings about self. We might even get you to make a sculpture from scratch in that lesson and then complete an artwork from that. And we also delve into contemporary art forms such as digital art and media. About halfway through year 12, we begin to work on component 1, the personal investigation. This effectively is where you decide on your own brief for a project. Here is an example from an ex-student who was investigating the blurred lines between fantasy and reality. This A-grade unit of work culminated in the creation of a series of realistic portraits in oil, using coloured lights to symbolise a fantasy world. The final oil painting itself was accompanied with a short essay of 1,000 to 3,000 words, and this is part of the course requirement. The essay is a straightforward piece of writing explaining the students' influences, realisations and decision making. Now, an oil painting may seem like a very traditional approach to a project, but as this is A-level art, craft and design, we have had all sorts of work over the years, such as lighting, suspended and pressed flowers, sculpture and even assemblage. Component 1 runs all the way up to the end of January of year 12, where you'll be completing your final outcomes for that project and that personal investigation. Component 2 starts in February of year 13, and it's actually on the 1st of February, the closest day to it, that you will receive an exam paper from the board. And the exam board set you out various initial starting points, and you pick one of them. And you pick one of them and develop a whole project around that initial starting point. And you'll have a few weeks in which to do that. When you have explored and refined and took photographs and played around with your overall ideas, you then will complete 15 hours of supervised practical time in the art studios, creating a final outcome for that project. And that will form your component 2, the externally set assignment. As you can see here, this is an A grade piece of work. The piece on the right hand side was completed in the 15 hours of control time, and that is a very large oil painting. She also received marks obviously for the rest of her sketchbook work and preparation towards that, and that is 40% of the overall A level, with component 1 being 60%. So finally, what do our students say about the course? We were talking to our current students here, and they alluded to what I touched on earlier in the presentation about the benefits of taking art and design. They talk about self-expression and the health and well-being. So here one student says, the course is challenging, but you can fit it into your own time. You get to study what you're interested in and passionate about. And also A-level studying can be intense, but I feel like I can breathe in the art studios. So they just give you a glimpse to how our students are feeling on a day-to-day basis. Let me now introduce you to one of our ex-students, Laura Doherty. You might recognise her work from the history rooms and the art corridors. And she did study A-level art and design with us and received top grades before going on to UAL University in London to study for a fine art degree. And she was awarded a first class degree with honours. She now paints for a living and she works on commissions, and you can see her work on Etsy under Laura Doherty Artistry and also on Instagram. And she's just going to tell us a little bit about her own experiences.
Hi, my name is Laura Doherty and I study art at Haslingden Sixth Form. The course at Haslingden really set a foundation for the art sector and any career possibilities in the future. So for example, the analysis side of A-level really prepared me for uni, because uni, you're thrown in at the deep end, if I'm going to be honest, in the art world. And the support that I got from my teachers at Haslingden really, it sticks with me today, because that encouragement was so important, because if I didn't have it I would have given in, because it's such a competitive field. It's not all about really skilled 16-hour oil paintings, and that's a mistake I made when I was doing A-levels. I thought everything had to be perfect, and I thought everything had to be realistic, beautiful, like old Tudor paintings. And in reality, the advice of my teachers on the course was saying, you know, the art world is so subjective, you don't need to be worrying. And they were right, because now that I'm in the art world, and it is overwhelming at some points, it's also true. Doing A-levels and then going on to do a degree and gaining a first class in fine art painting really made me realise that as artists and as creatives in general, we are living in a society where we're viewed as slightly less than, because it's quite a strange field to be in as a career. It feels like you're cheating life because you're sat painting all day, and something about that just seems wrong, but it's so fulfilling. And even though it's competitive, there is a market for everything, whether you're a realistic painter, whether you're a graphic designer, a scenic theatre painter, a spoken word artist, ceramics. Ceramics are really big right now. I don't think I could have moved to London without the encouragement from my A-levels, because that was the big stepping stone from studying at Haslingden to then moving to London. I've been in London for the past 5 years, and yes, it is definitely a hub for creativity, though it's not the be-all and end-all. Moving to London, it was definitely a culture shock, but it was amazing going to the uni and seeing everyone from different backgrounds, and the art was so diverse, and it's really changed how I perceive my own art and what I do for a living now. Basically, my advice is, if you're getting the encouragement on your course because that people have realised you're creative, take it and run with it, because I did, and I don't regret anything. I think it's really pushed me as an artist. It's really made me realise that it's not just a hobby, it's not just something I'm taking as an A-level for the fun of it. It's a genuine career prospect, and if you have any ounce of creativity, embrace it, because, you know, that's such a special thing, and you can really make a life out of it in the end. So my advice would be, definitely, if you're considering doing A-levels in art, then you definitely should, because it's never a waste of time, and it actually turns out to be really rewarding.
I hope you found this presentation useful, and if you have any further questions, don't hesitate to get in touch with me on the email address on the screen now. Hopefully that's inspired you to want to opt for art and to apply for it, and if so, I hopefully will see you in September.